Welcome everyone to Silverstone and the start of season 34 of the British GT Championship. 29 cars for British GT's Blue Ribbon 3-hour race this weekend, and this is our opportunity to take a look at all of them, starting with last year's winner, driven by Darren Young and Dan Harper. Those two unbeaten in the 500. They share the first of Paradine's two guesting BMWs. The second of them also features former 500 winners, Ian Logie and Phil Keane, teaming up in British GT for the first time in a couple of years. Ian, a winner of this event back in 2019. Phil, 10 years ago in 2016. Next up, Mahiki and their three McLaren entries, starting with the Artura GT4, which features Blake Onglis, but also Revi Lake, who could become, at 16 years and 146 days, the youngest British GT winner ever on Sunday. On to the two GT3 entries from Mahiki, and the first of them we didn't see at all at Media Day. That's driven by Ed McDermott and Luke Garlick. Luke, one of 5 SRO GT Academy contenders this year. Another of them is actually his teammate, Josh Rowledge. He's also up for the prize drive at Spa. He shares with team owner Stephen Lake, who makes his GT3 debut. On we go to Toro Verde, a team that we haven't seen in British GT full-time for a couple of seasons, but they're back and they've hedged their bets between Porsche and Ginetta. First up, the Cayman here, which features Ian Duggan, a driver familiar to British GT names, but also Tom Bradshaw, who was a Sprint Challenge champion last year. Knows that car inside out, interested to see how he gets on. The other car, again, another one, a new one for us, didn't see this at Media Day. Luke Shaw, who's come up through the Ginetta system, and Jack Mitchell, 2018 GT4 winner of this event, the same season he won the British GT4 Championship. On to Townsend Racing, powered by Fox Motorsport. Fox, a name familiar to British GT fans. James Townsend, he's teamed up with them. It's his name above the door this season. Joe Wheeler shares the Aston Martin with him. Another new team for British GT, and another team that's come up through the the Ginetta ranks. Innovation Racing, Tom Holland shares that one with Headley Simpson. And onto the car, which for many people is the GT4 Championship favourite this year. MK Racing, brand new Aston Martin. Jessica Hawkins, Will Orton. Jessica obviously raced with us in GT3 a couple of years ago, was with Beachstein, you might remember. Will, rapid in that car a couple of years ago when he was with Forsetti. He's been away, done some racing elsewhere, come back. That was banging contention. WSR finally make their British GT debut this weekend, as does Colin Turkington, 4-time British Touring Car Champion. Interested to see how he goes. Ernie Graham, former historic rally champion, joins him. No changes. It's Orange Racing by JMH this year. Marcus Clutton is with Simon Orange once again. And then on to Optimum, which has 4 entries, 3 of them in GT3, 1 in GT4, and a couple of guest drivers this weekend as well, actually. But first of all, the car that set race and qualifying lap records here last year in the hands of Marvin Kirchhoffer. Morgan Tilbrook remains behind the wheel of the 720S, but he's joined by Ben Barnacote, an incredibly rapid former McLaren factory driver. No worries there. Now, the number 3 car is a full season entry, but as you can see, it's changed colour. Mike Price and Callum McLeod can't be here this weekend. So, got a couple of Aussies in, Grant Patterson and Yasser Shaheen, both very experienced. And then here's the GT4 entry for Optimum this year. Team cleaned up in GT4 last year, you might remember. Just the one GT4 for them this time round, though, and it includes reigning silver champion Luca Hopkinson. And finally, the 4th entry for Optimum. It is the reigning overall GT4 champions, Mark Warren and Jack Brown. They make their GT3 graduation this season. Right, a little bit of a gap before we get to Barwell. So a quick reminder of the British GT 3-hour format that we've got here at Silverstone. 4 stints, 3 mandatory pit stops, but no maximum, there is a 65-minute maximum stint length. There are no minimum stint lengths. 100 minutes total drive time for a driver. So lots of opportunities to have strategy. We may even see cars pitting at the end of lap 1. You just never know with this place, and we probably won't know whose race it's going to be until after the final round of pit stops. Right, a very loud garage with Barwell, so we'll try and stay out of it. You're looking at the car shared by Rob Collard and Hugo Cook. Rob, 2020 British GT champion and Silverstone 500 winner. Hugo, runner-up last year. Definitely contenders in what is going to be the Hurricanes' swan song. Alex Martin shares with debutant Gerard Waberski. Gerard, one of the SRO GT Academy drivers this year. And I'm going to go in here, you're going to go around there, and on to Matt Griffin and Duncan Cameron, a combination we always see in a Ferrari, but incredibly, they have a Lamborghini this year. Going to be really interesting to see how those guys go in the Raging Bull rather than a prancing horse. Another of the new Aston Martins next along, that is GBR Stratton Racing. Just running out of time before the start of this test, so we're going to quickly zip along. 4 Aston Martins in GT4 this year. Up to paddock, no changes for them. It's still Martin Plowman and Mark Smith, but a very nice livery on that McLaren this year. Another of the new Aston Martins, that's Grange Racing with FSR, and it includes none other than Darren Turner, obviously Aston Martin factory driver, 2-time GT4 winner here at the Silverstone 500. Rodin, no one saw this one coming pre-season. They've got a Ferrari and 2 Australian drivers used to race in Australian GT in the 296. And then, of course, we're on to the crowd favourite Chomp, the first of Century's 2 entries. Obviously, we've seen a lot of this car pre-season, so we'll move on very quickly and on to another SRO GT Academy entry. Actually, Charles Clark, a winner of this race in GT4 from, I think it was 2023. He moves up to GT3 this season. Right, as you can see, car's getting ready to come out. So we'll just finish things off with what are 3 2Cs entries. They've got 2 full season, 3 here at Silverstone, and that's because reigning champions Charles Durson and Kieran Jewis are back for a one-off outing. They were within a second of winning here last year. They moved up to GT World Challenge Europe for this season, but as I say, coming back with the aim purely of winning the RAC trophy, the historic RAC trophy, which was first awarded in 1932. Kevin Z, and he's teamed up with Ben Green for this year. Certainly going to be one of the fastest combinations in GT3 for my money. And then finally, for 2Cs, Andrew Gilbert and Aaron Walker, as I say, another of those SRO GT Academy contenders. And finally, Beechstein AMR returned to their original colours and a bit of an original driver lineup as well. Andrew Howard, of course, drives the Vantage, but he's sharing with Ross Gunn. Ross, a winner of this race in GT4 back in 2015. Right, there they are then, your runners and riders for this year's Silverstone 500. A reminder that qualifying, warm-up and the race are all live on GT World's YouTube channel, as well as the GT World app. And this weekend, Sky Sports F1. Of course, there's no better way to enjoy British GT or Silverstone 500 than being here trackside, so do look out for tickets on silverstone.co.uk.